Good afternoon, Santa Clara. I'm Mayor Lisa Gilmore. Thank you for joining us at Mayor at Noon. Today, during the show, you'll have an opportunity to ask us questions live. One of the foundations of our Santa Clara community is our seniors. The city takes great pride in the services we provide to seniors, from Tai Chi classes and fitness training, health and wellness programs, to providing informational resources on housing and transportation, assistance with taxes, health care, and so much more. Supporting our seniors has always played a vital role in supporting our community as a whole, honoring our history, and making Santa Clara a wonderful place to live and grow old in. Joining me today is our special guest, Grant L. McCauley, Chair of the Senior Advisory Commission and Chair of the 6th Annual Be Strong, Live Long Health and Wellness Fair. Welcome, Grant. So great to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Great, great. Grant grew up in Santa Clara, attending C.W. Hayman Elementary School, William A. Wilson Intermediate School, and Santa Clara High School. He's been married to his lovely wife, Gail, for 47 years and raised 2 children, all while living, working, and generously volunteering his time in Santa Clara. He has volunteered for the Boy Scouts of America for, is this right, 36 years?
36 years.
36 years, wow. And has served on the Santa Clara Police Chiefs Advisory Committee and is currently serving as a board member and treasurer of the Mission City Community Fund and Foundation, and I am fortunate to serve with him on the Mission City Community Fund. There is no question Grant is a pillar in our community and just the right person I wanted to talk about living and growing old in Santa Clara. Do you like that? We're going to talk about growing old, Grant.
Growing old.
Growing old. He will also talk about one of Santa Clara's most beneficial events for seniors, and it's coming up, the 6th Annual Be Strong, Live Long Health and Wellness Fair. So welcome to the show, Grant.
Thank you.
Your background, incredible as it is, both academically and professionally, is quite impressive. And like myself, you were homegrown here in Santa Clara. So tell me about your early life in our city and how you became so involved in the community. I want the viewers to know a little bit about you.
Well, my parents came from the San Joaquin Valley and moved up here. They bought the house on Armanini, which is just off of Los Padres and Homestead, 5 months before I was born. And
is that where you live now?
No,
Oh, okay.
I sold that house about 2 years ago. But growing up right there, it's right at the end of the street of Hayman School. And of course, then I went to Wilson and to Santa Clara High School.
I went to Booksir, so I don't know.
I know.
I should have thought about that before I had you on the show.
Yes. So growing up, one of the things that was really impressive, both of my parents did volunteer work. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, but she was the PTA president at Hayman. And after that, she was elected to the Santa Clara Unified School District Board and served on that for 4 years.
Wow.
And my dad was always a scout leader when both of my brothers and I were scouts. And so volunteer work was something that was an example to the 3 of us growing up in Santa Clara.
No wonder you're volunteering your time and being so involved in the community. You had some really good teachers in your mother and father.
I did. They were great examples of giving back to the community.
Really, at such a young age. That's wonderful. So your volunteer work extends to our city, and your current leadership, you are chair of the Senior Advisory Commission. All of this must keep you very, very busy. So tell us about the Senior Advisory Commission and what types of issues and activities are you working on?
Well, one of the things that we did was in 2016, we had the proposal to become an age-friendly city, which is a designation from the World Health Organization. And so we started working on that. We have 8 domains that kind of guide us on things that we should be looking at. And as a reference for each year, we do something on all 8 domains, but we pick 2 each year to be our focus. And so that's kind of the work that we've been doing. A lot of people get confused and think that maybe we have something to do with the senior center itself. We have nothing to do with the facility.
Although you meet in the facility.
Yeah, so when the swimming pool isn't open or the computers aren't working or the doors are closed, it's not our
Really?
issue.
Because I've been referring people to your commission for the senior center.
That's one time that we could say, not my problem. But it's an issue that a lot of people think that we have something to do. But our focus is to be an advocate and advisor to the city council on senior issues.
Right, and you've done a fabulous job of that as well. Who's eligible to be a commissioner, and do you have to be a senior to be on the commission?
Well, I don't believe that there is a written rule that you have to be a senior to be on the Senior Advisory Commission, but all of us are. In the Santa Clara, they designate seniors as being all those over the age of 50. And right now—
Did you hear that, everyone? The age of 50. 50 and over.
Yes.
You're a senior officially in Santa Clara, and you can register to be a senior at the senior the senior building, right? The
Yes.
senior center. You can register to be an official Santa Clara senior citizen.
Yes, you can, and it's free, which is one of the points is that other cities charge a monthly or annual fee to join their senior center. Santa Clara has the policy that no, we are open to everybody.
And then what do you get? I think you can use the facilities
Yes, you can
at the
use
senior
the
center. Do you
facilities.
know? I'm not sure if you are aware of all the things you can get from your senior
Well,
card. I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, to start out with, my very first exposure to that was that I became the primary care for my mother when she got into her 90s. And I absolutely did not know what I was doing. I didn't know where to go. I needed help. I didn't know what to do. And so I went to the senior center, and I was given so much information and help that I thought, this is a great organization. I've got to start helping out with them because they helped me so much when I needed it.
And that's important because as the baby boomers, our generation is getting older, we're taking care of our parents and, becoming their main caregivers. And so many people, like you just said, don't know what to do, don't know where to go or to get the resources, to help your elderly parents or to help you take care of them.
Yes.
And the senior center's a great place to go. But we also have other facilities in the senior center. We have swimming pools.
We have, there's 3
Gym
swimming
equipment.
pools, and they have the computer room. They've got ceramics. They're just a general gathering area if you just want to sit down and meet with friends or read a book. There's places for that to do it. There's a snack bar.
There's food service too, right? Is there
there's
lunch
food
service
there's
and
snack bars
others?
there. So,
Yeah.
And then there's lunch. They do serve a lunch at a very minimal cost. I believe it's about $3.50 for lunch. You do have to make a reservation so they know how many
Right.
people are serving.
Right.
But there is a lunch, and it's quite full every day at lunch, people coming there to have lunch. It gives them a chance to get some nutrition and at the same time to socialize a little.
And meet people, because one of the issues that have come out of the pandemic is people are alone and they're lonely and they haven't been around people for a couple of years for safety reasons and health reasons. But this is an opportunity to come and collaborate and meet others and just have some fun.
It is.
And be around other people.
With the pandemic, the 2 years of lockdown, and people were isolating. And that's creating a mental health issue because people need to socialize. And so it was tough to get through that. And so it's an opportunity to come back, meet people your own age, go through this. They're going through the same thing.
Right.
And so it's a good time to socialize, have a little something to eat, play a game, have a little fun, and get your life back to normal.
Yeah, wonderful. Well said, well said. So one of the amazing accomplishments that your commission achieved, as you mentioned, was helping Santa Clara obtain the designation of an age-friendly city. And that's not easy to get through the World Health Organization. We're very proud to have that. So tell us what it means for the community, if you can go into a little more detail about that.
Well, I came in late on that when we started that. It was authorized by the senior advisory people at the time and approved by the city council in late 2016. So 2017 is when we got the designation from the World Health Organization. And what we had to do was to prove on the 8 domains that we were doing something for each one of those for all ages.
Okay.
And it just so happens that it fell to the Senior Advisory Commission to
Naturally,
move that.
right? Naturally.
Yeah, but this also, it can apply to the Youth Commission and everybody else in between. It's age-friendly, so that we're covering the bases all across the board for all of those. One of the minor things that we haven't had a lot to do with, but we're trying to support, is the Magical Bridge Playground.
Right.
Which is more for youth, but it's more for the spectrum of abilities. And so we were supporting that, but it's not one of our focuses.
Yeah, but it's an important part of Santa Clara, and we're that close to getting all the money to get it built. And for those who don't know, it's in Central Park. It will be in Central Park, and it's a park for all abilities and children and adults on the spectrum as well.
Yeah, and if they want to see what it's all about, Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, Mountain View, they've already opened their
Right, Sunnyvale just opened theirs, right?
Yeah, so ours should be real soon.
Ours is going to be fantastic,
Yes.
phenomenal when it happens. So thank you to the Senior Commission and everything you're doing to help us on that. So, so there are several components to this. So why don't you tell us about each of the components of what makes an age-friendly city?
Okay, well, the two that we're focusing on right now are the housing and health and wellness. And so those are the two that we've really taken on for 2022. We do support or do something for all 8 of the domains, but it's something on transportation, housing, social participation, inclusion, civic engagement, communications, community health services, and outdoor spaces and buildings. So this year, the transportation and housing are the two that we're working on. The transportation.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you promoted those 2 goals, because those are very large goals.
They are.
Yes.
They're huge goals. We've been doing a lot of work on both of those. The transportation, we've been trying to work to get an intra-city bus system so that we can tie and not to infringe on VTA at the same time, but to have a bus system. And in the beginning, we thought it was going to be for seniors, but now as we get deeper into it, it's going to be open to all residents. And it was a way to tie the libraries, the senior center, the hospitals, shopping centers, all together so that it'd be an easy and convenient and inexpensive way for people to get this bus and get away from their cars. And
we've heard you on that on the City Council, and right now we're collaborating with Sunnyvale and Cupertino.
Yes.
To do a multi-jurisdictional shuttle service to help all of our cities, because as you know, many people don't know where Santa Clara ends and Sunnyvale starts, or where Santa Clara and Cupertino or Sunnyvale and Cupertino. So it will really expand the service for our residents, seniors and younger as well.
Yes.
To get around the multi-jurisdictional, to go shopping or doctor's appointments, or sometimes the facilities you want to visit are not always in just one city, so
Right.
you have to do that. So thank you. I know you spearheaded that as well.
Well, and our champion has been Raj Chahal.
Right.
Raj has really been helping us an awful lot, and he was the one that first came up with the collaboration with the other cities, Sunnyvale and Cupertino, since they already have this in place, and then we would expand on theirs. We could tap into a lot of what they've already been through, and then start this. And as you say,
yeah, Cupertino did reach out and said, "Hey, we'd love you to join us."
Right, and
we said yes,
it
yes,
expands
yes.
it to everybody, so that not everybody. I mean, we live in Santa Clara, but sometimes a lot of the facilities that we need, whether it be healthcare or shopping, like that, is outside of Santa Clara. So if we could tie it all together and have something that would complement VTA, we think would be a big help for all of us.
The finances to do something like that are pretty tremendous. So would they have their grant programs there's going to be grant programs,
Yes.
thank you, that are going to be funding some of these things as well. And that's what we're jointly applying for. So cross your fingers. We're working hard on that.
Yeah, it's, and to be able to go through the growing pains that Cupertino and Sunnyvale have already experienced, and they were latching onto it. So we're hoping that pretty soon that we have that intra-city or bus system that we can all use.
So housing, tell us about your work on housing.
Well, the work on housing is that we've been we've really been trying to make sure, and the city council has been great on this, is to ensure that when all these big developments are coming in, the new ones that are building the high rises and multifamily dwellings, is that they do have a spot in there for low income and senior housing. You know, when you get to be a senior, you're living on a fixed income. And everybody knows what's been happening to rents recently, that they've been skyrocketing. Well, as a senior citizen on a fixed income, it is forcing a lot of people to move, and in a lot of cases, to move out of the area. One of the things that people in a senior citizen would like to do is to stay in their own area where they've been familiar with the shopping, with the health care.
And their family here as well.
Family is
Family
here.
and friends close by.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's a way to try to keep the residents here so that they're in familiar territory, and at the same time be able to afford to live here. And it's a tough thing to do, but we've been advocates to the city council, and the council has been very supportive about making sure that these developers that are building these huge complexes make sure that they do have spots in there for seniors or low income, so that we can stay a community.
And I know one of the things we've talked about before, especially with the commission, is some of the seniors that own existing homes here in Santa Clara, either getting an accessory dwelling unit in their backyard to give them the extra income to help them to stay,
Yes.
or you know, vice versa. They go in the accessory dwelling unit so they're here, and then maybe rent out their house for these, you know, enormous amounts to
Right.
help them with their, you know, all of their medical and other expenses. So I know you've given us a lot of suggestions on the council, and we appreciate that. Any hints on what's coming up, the two next components of Age-Friendly City that your commission's going to look at?
Not really. I mean, having the 8 domains of the age-friendly city status gives us a chance. We look at all 8 domains, and as I said, we do something for all 8 every year, but
Okay.
I have the 2 that we focus on. So the June Senior Advisory Commission meeting is when we're going to propose to each other which ones we would like to go after and what we would like to do about it. Each one of the members, all 7 members of the Senior Advisory Commission, have their opinions, their personal ideas.
I've been to your meetings. I know everyone has their opinions. They're great. I love them. Tell us when your meetings are in case people want to zoom in or attend.
Yeah, it's the 4th Monday of every month at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And right now we're meeting virtually. We are really wanting to meet back in person, but we haven't been given that.
We just started in person, so did you hear that, everyone out there? They want to meet in person.
Yes,
All right.
we're
Okay.
jealous of the city council meeting in person.
You're
We're
jealous,
still virtual.
okay.
But they can log on to the city website
Yes.
and get to us and log on. It is live, and you can ask us
And you can ask questions live. It's very interactive. I've been
Yes.
to the meetings,
Yeah.
and you are very interactive with the public, which
Yeah,
is
we
really
try to
great.
be very active with the public. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is that all 7 commissioners, we all get along great. We have fun, but we get things done.
Right.
It's a fun commission to be on.
So I know the pandemic has brought so many issues in the community as a whole, but especially for our seniors, and I know times have gotten a little bit tougher. One of the pillars of an age-friendly city is health and wellness. So tell us how the Be Strong, Live Long Health and Wellness Fair, which occurs next Friday,
Yes.
exactly at this time. Tell us how it was born and what we can expect this year for the Health and Wellness Fair.
The Health and Wellness Fair started, Mallory Van Kogelen and Jennifer Herb had the idea back in the early days, about 2016, 2017, to have this Health and Wellness Fair. And each commissioner is asked to work on a specific area. I was brand new to the commission. I had no idea what a Health and Wellness Fair was or how we were going to put it on. But the 2 of them asked me to chair it. And it turns out that after 6 years, I'm not giving that job up.
You love it, right? I was going to
really
say
do.
there's no regrets, no regrets.
There are no regrets. We've had a great time doing this. And it's grown each year. We've gone as far as like the nonprofit organizations that come to do the exhibits, which they are all nonprofits. We do not let any for-profit agency come in.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there's no high pressure selling or anything like that. Everybody there is a nonprofit agency that supplies the information, resources, or assistance in elderly care. And so whether it be mental, physical, social, they're all nonprofits. And so we had, the first year we had about 25, the second year we had about 40, and we were up to 52.
52?
52 exhibitors this year. And the thing that Jennifer and Mallory have been working on is when we first had it in 2017, we just made rows of the puppet tents. Well, now because of COVID and not under the complete restrictions that we were the last 2 years, but still like a mask recommended, they have redesigned how the park, Fremont Park, will be laid out so that they're more in pods and not quite next to each other. So people won't be standing in lines right next to somebody if they see an exhibitor they'd like to go talk to. They'll be safe to go up and talk to the individual exhibitors.
Oh, that's interesting. I can't wait to see it.
Oh.
I attended the first 2 of them before the pandemic, before your virtual, and it was amazing the information that I received from the different booths and the different presenters that were there, all just chock full of resources for everyone from all ages. And I think that's the point, right? That
It is the point.
It's not just for seniors, it's for everyone. It's
Yeah.
a health and wellness fair for everyone, right?
Exactly, and that's one of the things. My own example is that I wasn't ready for a lot of that information when my first experience with it, but I had a mother that I had to take care of right away, and so this is open to everybody. So if you are in that position where you have elderly parents, and your time might be coming soon that you have to take care of that parent, this is going to be a resource for you as to what you can use and how you can take care of them and who to go to for information.
I mean, it's going to benefit everyone because, we're all going to get old, hopefully. We'll all get old.
Right.
And you're going to need this information no matter what age. But there was a lot of things there for younger people as well.
Yes.
I know in the past they did hearing tests and eye tests and other things. So tell us about, I think you have some special guests this year, our sponsors, Kaiser Permanente and the Santa Clara Valley Bicycle Coalition. So tell us about what they're providing this year.
Yes. Well, the Kaiser, a big shout out to Kaiser. Kaiser donates $500 every year to us to put this fair on. And we put the money towards the lunch to keep the cost of the
And
lunch
there's food
down.
there, right?
There's
Everyone,
food there.
there's food there.
So, but this year they're going to have a booth on coping with the lockdown and coming out of the lockdown and getting out and being more public and more social. So there's more of a mental health this year. In the past, they have done, they did a cancer screening a few years ago.
Oh, the cancer screening was popular, right?
It was so
oh my
popular,
gosh.
it was overwhelming to Kaiser because they had a line going out the door, and it interrupted people from seeing the rest of the fair. So they decided to get the word out to make an appointment with your doctor more than try to go through that. The line was so long.
Yeah.
We had there was a hearing test.
I remember the hearing test, and the line was incredibly long for the hearing test.
It was incredibly long, and the problem was that we couldn't find a place that was quiet enough for them to really put the hearing test to good use. So
there was so many people there, and it was loud.
Yeah,
I have to say there was a lot of people, hundreds of people there, and it was very loud.
Yeah. So this year we're really looking forward to Kaiser coming back and with their money and their assistance, and it's really been popular. The other one is the Silicon Valley Bicycle Coalition, and that day, back, if you remember, back a few years ago, we used to have the Bike to Work Day.
Right.
Well, now they've changed the name to Bike to Wherever Day.
Bike to Wherever Day.
And,
I love that. Yeah.
They're really supporting all of the cities and the communities in Santa Clara Valley to put in the bike lanes, which Santa Clara is already working on.
Right.
But that day they have the Bike to Wherever Day. And so there's going to be a large amount of bicyclists out using all of the streets in Santa Clara. And they got our Health and Wellness Fair designated as an Energizer station.
Oh, like a rest stop Energizer?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
they can come by there, and if they pre-register through their website, the Silicon Valley Bicycle Coalition website, they have prizes in a goodie bag for them to get if they pre-register. But one of the things that we decided then also is that we're going to have a bike watch so that there'll be an area they can lock up their bike and somebody will watch them so that they can walk around and see the rest of the fair.
I'll tell you, once you start walking and you go to all the booths, it's so fascinating. I remember one year there was even an area, and it was introduced to me that you had a commissioner, Sam, I can't remember his last name, but
Sam Orm.
Yeah, and so he did a little section on, and I think Wanda Buck did too, a little section on mindful meditation.
Yes.
Which I found fascinating, and I thought there's a perfect area of Fremont Park where we could do, mindful meditation or yoga or an area there, and I thought, wow, it's healing the mind and the body, at the same time. I thought that was pretty fascinating for you.
Yeah, I have to give a big shout out to Sam Orm and Wanda Buck, Bobby Estrada, Nancy Toledo. They were the ones in the beginning that were coming up with all these ideas and everything. And as brand new to the commission, I was the real rookie. But they had so much input, and they're the reasons that this thing has been so successful over the last 6 years.
And health and wellness is on everyone's mind. Again, mind and body in terms of health. And I remember how the Arts and Wine Festival started very small at the Franklin Mall in Santa Clara, and look what it is now. I'm telling you, this health and wellness fair could be just as big in terms of the interest.
Yeah, like I said, we've grown by leaps and bounds in the first 3 years to go from 25 exhibitors to over 50 exhibitors and about 150 participants the first year to 450 in the third year. And I did mention to Jim Nixera that if we got any bigger, we would have to move to Central Park.
Right.
He turned me down. He said no.
Oh, no. He says ones and one aren't one. And we can't sell fried Oreos there either.
That's right,
yeah. Wellness fair, but they
Mallory
sure are
wouldn't
good.
allow that because they're not healthy.
They're not healthy. All right. So I think we've come to the time that, do we have any comments or questions from the audience? Okay, Larry, he's a longtime watcher here. Love you, Mayor and Grant. Keep up the good work, Grant. Good, you got a nice shout out from Larry. Oh, Marcia Grilly. Hi, Grant, love seeing you. Yay, Kathy, you have a fan, Grant. Kathy Watanabe. Santa Clara has some great projects under construction for affordable senior housing. Thank you to the great developers and housing organizations for bringing these projects. AgriHood is the most notable. Will any of these developments have a booth at the Health and Wellness Fair?
No. We don't have any of them, but we do have the people who support housing through SourceWise and other organizations that support senior housing.
Okay, so Lala, Mayor, how do you build affordable senior housing that won't break the bank? What will you do to combat homelessness? I think, is that something you're talking about on the commission? I know I've had discussions with you on the commission as well.
Yeah, we realize that homelessness or just having to move out of the area are huge concerns for senior citizens. So we advocate and are very active in making sure that the council enforces the rule that there has to be some senior housing, low-income housing, when these developments are finally built.
And we're doing that, and we also just put a load of money into building or renting services for wash stations and portable showers and other for homelessness in Santa Clara. Right. So we're working together to get that done. Edward, I look forward to alternative healing methods at your future wellness fair. We need a senior center on the north side. Sure do.
Yes.
Of Santa Clara. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Grant, for volunteering.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I didn't mention, I should have, is that we've been talking about a satellite senior center on the north side. And I remember the first council member that we brought that up with was Teresa O'Neill.
Right.
So it goes back that far. And Teresa was going to be our champion to get that built.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the north side. Probably not as big as the senior center that we have right now on Fremont Street, but a satellite one so that it can support the people of the north side.
And I'll tell you, it's going to have to happen as we expand the population.
Yes. On
north side Santa Clara, as you know, we build lots of housing out there.
Yes.
The services are absolutely needed. They are. There's no question about it. So
right.
I guess stay tuned for that, because that's going to be that's definitely on the chalkboard. So Grant, I know we're coming to the end, but what advice would you give to seniors who want to get more involved in the community?
Well, it's one of the things that I was telling the mayor is that the reason I got involved with the city, I did have all that time in working with the Boy Scouts, but the reason I got involved with the city is because I was asked. I worked with somebody on the city council, Pat Kolstad, on a Boy Scout project that was very successful, and he was the one that came after me and said, you know, you ought to look at being on the Senior Advisory Commission. And so I looked into it and I applied. Mayor Gilmore was one of the interviewers that put me on the Senior Advisory Commission.
I hope I voted for you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And I just hope if you've got it, it's a chance for you to give back to the community and do something good. And I'm telling you, you have a lot of fun. It's really interesting. I've learned a lot. I've had a great time, and it's wonderful. So if you want to give back to the community, if you feel like there is something you do, you can do that. It may not be the Senior Advisory Commission. I believe there's something like 23 commissions.
Right, we have a lot of commissions, committees.
That are already
task
happening
forces,
in Santa
all
Clara.
kinds of things. So you're asking people, you said you were asked, now you're asking them to get involved.
Yes, get involved, look into it. Go on the city website and look at all the commissions that are available. And a lot of them have openings right now.
So finally, what thoughts would you like to leave us with, and what would you like to ask of our viewers?
I guess the story that I would tell is that when my wife Gail and I were buying our house, we told the realtor to concentrate on Santa Clara, find us a house in Santa Clara. And I've been so proud that we were so insistent on that. And it's been a wonderful city. Growing up here, raising my children here, I'm so proud of the city, the way that it's operated. And now you look at it, we're the center of technology for the whole world. We have a world-class NFL team, and all of the amenities, just our own power company. It's just a great place to live and work. And so I would really advise, look at Santa Clara and what we're doing. I know every city has issues. Sometimes they get a little rough, but we can all get through this, and it's just because we all want this city to be as great as it possibly can be.
And it's a great city to grow old in, isn't it, Grant? It really is. It really is. And what's happening next Friday?
Next Friday, May 20th, from 10 to 1 p.m. is the Health and Wellness Fair. It's at Fremont Park, adjacent to the Senior Center, right there on Fremont Avenue in Santa Clara. Like I said, we have the bike watch. We have parking is going to be a little bit tough because there's not a huge amount of parking at the Senior Center. So there's going to be plenty of parking on Fremont Street, Harrison Street, but we're encouraging people to bike, walk, take a bus, carpool, but come to the fair. I can guarantee you are not going to be disappointed.
So everyone, that's all the time we have today for Mayor at Noon. I want to thank Grant L. McCauley for being such a wonderful guest. Until next time, I want to see all of you there next Friday from 10 to 1 at our Senior Center, Fremont Park in Santa Clara. Until then, be well, Santa Clara.